You're watching the South African Morning. Let's take a look at some sports now. And the battle for control of SASCOC ended in victory for Barry Hendricks, who has been elected president. Hendricks, who had spent 5 months suspended as acting president during a tumultuous period of infighting, was elected during a virtual election by 70 of the 85 bodies that make up SASCOC. Hendricks joins us now via Skype to chat about the way forward. A very good morning to you, Mr. Hendricks. First of all, leading up to this election, there was a lot of talk from a lot of naysayers who were talking about how they didn't think it would be a free and fair election. So I'm going to pose this question to you. Are you confident that it was a free and fair election?
Yes, the election was facilitated by Dr. Sam Ramsamy, the IOC and IPC appointed facilitator. But Dr. Sam Ramsamy did not only do it on his own. Through the SASCOC constitution, several factors need to be put in place in order for the elections to be free and fair. One of those is an independent auditing company that receives the nominations, an independent nominations committee that reviews the nominations, and then an independent electoral company to run the actual elections. And then if there's any problems, an independent appeals committee to take the matters forward.
All right, so there's plenty.
And that has been put in place and it has been carried out.
So there's plenty of work to be done, Mr. Hendricks. What is your first point of order in terms of what is first on your agenda?
To settle the organization, to ensure that the board is compliant according to our constitution. And in order for that to take place, we need to appoint 2 independent persons, one from the legal fraternity and one from the finance fraternity. And the board of SASCOC, through its members, will put that in place within the next 2 or 3 weeks.
And it's a completely different board, and impressively, over 50% of the board is comprised of women. A major step forward, I think, for SASCOC.
We have more than a 50% complement. We have 5 women out of the 8. And this is indeed an historic occasion for SASCOC. And I look forward to working with those 5 women, as well as the other men that have been appointed to the board as well.
It is no secret that SASCOC has some financial issues, Mr. Hendricks. How do you plan to address this? Do you have a strategy in place?
Yes, there has to be a financial turnaround strategy as well. But the first thing we've got to do is to settle the organization, to do an analysis of our financial situation with the current board and the acting CEO, and then plan a way forward. There are some ideas that we have already, and we have to put those plans and ideas into action now. One of the key things is to try and convince the possible funders of SASCOC as well as government that we are completely compliant and that we are ready to receive funds so that it can be spent on our federations and our athletes and in preparation for the Olympics and Paralympics next year.
Speaking of the Olympics and the Paralympics next year, there's about 8 months to go before the Olympics, and you've made it clear that the athletes are of utmost importance. How are preparations going with regard to the Olympics?
Even though this year has been tough through COVID-19, the planning has been taking place through our staff. They've been in liaison with the IOC and the IPC. So that backroom planning and preparation, that has been happening already. Unfortunately, our athletes have been compromised through the COVID process as well as the financial process in SASCOC. But those are the challenges that we'll have to take up. But the planning has been ongoing.
Can you confidently say that the issues of the past are now behind us?
Yes, the members have spoken, and they've spoken quite clearly through their votes, through their democratic right to vote. They've elected what I term a very competent and unified board, and I look forward to working with those members to implement the things that are needed to restructure SASCOC and to turn it around and to recreate and develop the SASCOC brand.
I want to talk a little bit about Cricket South Africa. We've seen government intervention taking place recently. Are you happy with the work that has been done now in terms of trying to move CSA a little bit forward?
Yes, we will work with the department as well as the sports ministry. We acknowledge that the highest decision-making body in Cricket South Africa is indeed their members' council, and we will work with that members' council as well to ensure that this interim board that is being appointed works with the members' council so that the members feel comfortable about the decisions that are taken. but it is a critical period in cricket's history. We have to ensure that this particular process, which is an interim process, hence the name of interim board, is a successful project.
All right, thank you very much, Barry Hendricks. Let's leave it there. That was SASCOC's newly elected president, Barry Hendricks, joining us via Skype. And that's